The human eye is a remarkable organ, often called the window to the soul. It works like a natural camera, capturing light, focusing it, and sending signals to the brain, allowing us to see the world in color and detail. Every part of the eye, from the outer cornea to the retina deep inside, plays a vital role in vision. In this 3D animation, we'll explore the anatomy and structure of the eye and understand how this tiny organ gives us the power of sight. Now we will talk about anatomy of eye. Number 1, iris, the colored part of the eye that controls the size of the pupil, regulating how much light enters the eye. Number 2, ciliary body, located behind the iris. It adjusts the lens for focusing and produces aqueous humor to maintain eye pressure. Number 3, sclera, the tough white outer layer of the eye that protects and maintains the shape of the eyeball. Number 4, cornea. The cornea is the transparent front layer of the eye. It bends light to help focus images. Number 5, pupil. The pupil is the dark circular opening at the center of the iris. It controls the entry of light into the eye. Number 6, lens. The lens sits behind the pupil and focuses light onto the retina by changing its shape. Number 7, nasolacrimal duct. This duct drains tears from the eye into the nose, keeping the eye surface moist. Number 8, retina. The retina is the light-sensitive layer at the back of the eye. It converts light into electrical signals for the brain. Number 9, papillary dilator. This muscle expands the pupil in dim light, allowing more light to enter. Number 10, vitreous body. The vitreous body is a clear gel-like substance that fills the eye and helps maintain its shape. Number 11, choroid. The choroid is a layer rich in blood vessels that supplies nutrients and oxygen to the retina. Number 12, lacrimal gland. This gland produces tears, which keep the eye lubricated and free from dust. Number 13, hyaloid canal. A thin canal inside vitreous body, a remnant of embryonic development. Number 14, eye muscles. 6 extraocular muscles control the movement of the eye in different directions. Number 15, cranial nerves. The optic nerve carries visual information to the brain, while other cranial nerves control eye movements and pupil reactions. Number 16, blood vessels. A network of arteries and veins supplies oxygen and nutrients, keeping the eye healthy. Number 17, ciliary processes. These tiny structures produce aqueous humor and help in adjusting the shape of the lens. The human eye does not work alone. Once light is focused onto the retina, millions of photoreceptor cells, rods and cones, convert it into electrical signals. These signals travel through the optic nerve, also called cranial nerve 2. The optic nerve from each eye meets at a structure called the optic chiasma, where some fibers cross over. This ensures both halves of the brain receive information from both eyes, giving us depth perception and a wide field of vision. Finally, the signals reach the visual cortex in the occipital lobe of the brain, where they are processed into the images we see. In short, the eye captures, but it is the brain that truly makes us see. Visible light is electromagnetic radiation that has a wavelength within a range of about 380 to 800 nanometers. Light of 380 nanometers in wavelength is seen as violet, while light of 800 nanometers in wavelength is seen as red. Light is perceived by the eyes. The impulses caused by light in the eyes are transmitted to the brain by the optic nerve, also called cranial nerve 2. The optic nerves are partially crossed in the optic chiasma. Therefore, impulses from the inner sides of each retina cross over to the opposite side of the brain. Impulses from the external side, on the other hand, stay on the same side. After entering the brain, optic nerve fibers run to the visual cortex found in the occipital lobe via the optic tract. The sense of light is formed in the cerebral cortex. The amount of light entering the eyes is regulated by the pupillary light reflex. In strong light, the pupil is contracted by the smooth muscles of the iris, while in low light, it is dilated. The pupillary light reflex is an unconditioned reflex. Its center is located in the brainstem. Abnormal operation of the pupillary reflex, therefore, is an indication of injury to the brainstem. The eyeballs are moved by the extraocular muscles. These are striated muscles under voluntary control. The vitreous chamber forms the main mass of the eye. The cross-section of the eye shows three main layers. The outermost is the sclera, a very durable layer of connective tissue, which continues in the transparent cornea. This is where light entering the eye is refracted by the greatest angle. The second layer is the choroid, which contains blood vessels that supply the eye. Its continuation at the front of the eye is the ciliary body and the iris. The smooth muscles of the iris are responsible for the pupillary light reflex. The iris contains pigments which lend human eyes their color. The smooth muscles of the ciliary body ensure the accommodation of the eye lens to the distance of the object viewed by changing its curvature. The lens is connected to the ciliary body through the ciliary zonules. The ciliary body is also responsible for producing the aqueous humor, the liquid that fills the anterior chamber. If the drainage of the aqueous humor is insufficient, the pressure increases in the eye, which causes glaucoma. In serious cases, it may lead to blindness. The innermost layer is the retina. This is where an inverted miniature image is formed of the object viewed. This is created by the lens. Its receptors are called rod cells and cone cells. The area of the retina responsible for visual acuity is called the macula lutea. In its center, there are only cone cells, while around the edge, there are more rod cells. The blind spot is the place where the optic nerve passes through the retina. There are no receptor cells here. The impulses produced by the receptors in the retina are transmitted to the brain by the nerve fibers in the optic nerve. The receptors in the retina are called rod cells and cone cells. They transmit impulses to the bipolar cells, which stimulate ganglion cells. The axons of the ganglion cells form the optic nerve. The light-sensitive pigment in rod cells is rhodopsin, which consists of a protein called opsin and a vitamin A derivative called retinol. Rhodopsin is sensitive to light of any wavelength. Therefore, rod cells cannot differentiate between colors. The stimulation threshold of rod cells is low. A single photon is enough to stimulate them. Thus, they work in weak light. Cone cells are responsible for color vision and function best in bright light. There are 3 types of cone cells, each sensitive to different wavelengths of light: red, green, or blue. These cells contain the photopigment iodopsin, which responds to specific light frequencies. Cone cells require a higher threshold of stimulation compared to rod cells, making them less effective in low-light conditions. Rod cells, on the other hand, are more sensitive to light and are primarily responsible for vision in dim environments. They contain the photopigment rhodopsin and are concentrated in the peripheral regions of the retina, contributing to peripheral vision. The macula, located near the center of the retina, contains a high density of cone cells and is crucial for detailed central vision. Color blindness occurs when one or more types of cone cells are absent or malfunctioning, affecting the perception of certain colors. In terms of neural processing, photoreceptor cells release the neurotransmitter glutamate. When stimulated by light, these cells undergo hyperpolarization, which reduces glutamate release and initiates a cascade of signals, leading to the generation of action potentials in the optic nerve. We can see dim stars better using our peripheral vision, because this way their images are not formed on the macula, but on areas richer in sensitive rod cells. Color blindness means that a type of cone cell is missing or does not work properly. The most common type of color blindness is red-green dichromacy, difficulty in distinguishing between red and green colors. When all three types of cones are involved, total color blindness or monochromacy occurs. In darkness, cones and rods continuously release a neurotransmitter called glutamate, which blocks bipolar cells. Light causes the receptor cells to hyperpolarize, that is, to produce an electric impulse. This stops the release of glutamate. Therefore, bipolar cells are unblocked and can release action potentials. Thanks for watching 𝗻𝗄3D World. If you loved the journey, hit subscribe, smash that like, and join the world where your ideas become 3D reality. Stop! This is just the beginning. Even more epic 3D animated videos are on the way. So hit that subscribe button and join the adventure.